What's going on, everybody? We got a little late here, but NFL Week 14 just finished, and I got results for you guys here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna run through it, talk about stats and everything, and we will go from there. So, all right, starting out Week 14. I am sorry. Okay, last week, Thursday, December 8th, we had the Rams versus the Raiders. I believe this game, um, yes, it was on Thursday, as I said. So the box score right here. Okay, this game, Baker Mayfield's first game as a Los Angeles Ram, replacing Matthew Stafford and just starting as a Ram. And then he went up against, who did he go up against? Derek Carr, the Rams quarterback for the Raiders. This, I think, this is a physical matchup. Shockingly, very shockingly, the Rams took this one. They won 17-16. There was 10 scored by the Raiders in the first quarter, then 3 by the Rams, and then 3 by the Raiders in the second. Nothing by the Rams in the second. And then coming out of halftime, no team scored, but then leaving in the fourth, the Raiders got a field goal, and but the Rams came back and got 14 points on the board. So it was a total of 17-16. Rams barely won that game, but very impressive here by the Rams. First win in a long time. Long time coming for the Rams, but they defeat the Las Vegas Raiders in what was a pretty decent game. All right, next game. Next games started on Sunday. Next game was my boys, the Detroit Lions. We took on the Minnesota Vikings, and if you've seen this fight, in which it was a fight, it was one of the most physical football games, one of the most fun football games the Detroit Lions have played yet. It was a great day for Jared Goff. This one I watched like nonstop, second to second. Great game by Jared Goff. Outstanding, as I said. Let me see here. He had a total of 330 yards in that game. It was absolutely fantastic. He had 3 touchdowns in that game. On the other side, Kirk Cousins, he had 425 yards passing. 2 touchdowns. He got sacked 3 times. Jared Goff got sacked none. Dalvin Cook, he had a whole lot of nothing. Minnesota rushing. Dalvin Cook, as I said, he had 23 yards, 1 touchdown for Dalvin Cook. That was the one where he juked him out in the end zone there, which was an incredible move by Dalvin Cook. But rushing-wise for Detroit, we had so many. C.J. Moore got 42 yards. Jamal Williams, 37. DeAndre Swift, 21. Justin Jackson, 19. Jared Goff had 9 himself. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown had 6. Justin Jackson got the touchdown there. A whole bunch of stats here. There was 1 fumble in the game, and it was Minnesota did fumble it, and Detroit got it. Another big move was the fake punt right out of the gate. It was a great move there on, I believe, 4th and 7. Fantastic running there. And then, again, going to Penei Sewell. For the first time, he did an outstanding job jumping for that first down, and what shocked the NFL community. But yeah, I think that was outstanding. In the end, Lions walk away with a 34-23 win over the Minnesota Vikings, who are 10-3. Lions are now 6-7. The Lions keep winning out. They will make it to the playoffs, and that would bring joy to me, and that would be awesome. But yeah, as I said, Lions knock off the Minnesota Vikings 34-23. All right, next game here. Game that was during that game, it was the New York Jets who are taking on the Detroit Lions this Sunday. I will cover that. I might have my buddy Sam on to record that with me. But yeah, we had the Jets and we had the Bills this past week. And in what was probably the most physical match in all of Week 14, Jets Mike White, he got absolutely crushed in the ribs by a sack, and it looked absolutely brutal. We had Josh Allen hurdle a guy, which looked absolutely incredible. Hurdle two guys, actually. Hurdle two guys. It was insane. And then, excuse me, give me a minute. And the tight end for Buffalo got absolutely I don't know. I can't remember what happened. He got absolutely just tossed around, and he looked incredible. But yeah, this game was absolutely awesome. I mean, Josh Allen, he had 147 yards, 1 touchdown. Mike White, he had no touchdowns, and he had 268 yards. Once again, just a very physical game. Nobody scored in the first. Then Buffalo scored a touchdown in the second. Coming out of halftime, Jets fired back with a touchdown and an extra point. Then the Bills fired back with a touchdown and extra point and a field goal in the third. Then to wrap it all up, the Jets scored 5 in the fourth, and the Bills scored 3. In the end, it was 20-12. Buffalo Bills win at home. The Bills are now 10-3. They're 5-1 at home, and Jets are 7-6. They're 4-3 in their away games. But overall, a great match here by the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. But as I said, Buffalo Bills get the win, 20-12 in Week 14. All right, the next game here, we had the Cincinnati Bengals go up against the Cleveland Browns. And this one was really fun as well. As I said in the first video on the channel the other day, this was absolutely an incredible week of football. But Joe Burrow, I mean, the guy had 239 yards. He looked incredible, 2 touchdowns. He let up 1 interception, got sacked once. And then Deshaun Watson, on the other hand, he got 276 yards, a little bit more than Joe Burrow. 1 touchdown, 1 interception as well. And then he got sacked twice. But coming out of the gate, Cincinnati was 9-4. Cleveland Browns are 5-8. It was a great matchup. Going into the first, nobody scored. It was a scoreless game. Going into the second, Cleveland Browns got a field goal. Then the Bengals came back and got a touchdown and then 2 field goals to get 13. And then the third, both of them coming out of halftime, both of them scored 7. And then in the fourth, Cleveland did not get anything on the board, but the Bengals got a field goal. In the end, it was 23-10. Cincinnati Bengals win at home. They're now 9-4, as I said, 5-1 at home. And the Cleveland Browns are 5-8 now and 2-5 away. So not a very good record for the Cleveland Browns in their away game. But yes, they do fall to the Bengals 23-10 coming out of Week 14. All right, next game that happened, we had the Houston Texans play the Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys here in this game. Cowboys are probably one of the favored to win the Super Bowl this year. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the NFC right now. Dak Prescott in this game, he had 284 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He got sacked once. And then Davis Mills, he got 175 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. He didn't get sacked, but his numbers do not look good there. Rushing wise, one leading rushing for the Cowboys was Ezekiel Elliott with 62 yards, 1 touchdown. That was really great numbers there. And then leading the Texans, we had Damon Pierce. He had 78 yards, 1 touchdown, and then 22 carries. Receiving wise, Chris Moore led that with 10 receptions, no touchdowns for the Texans. Then for the Cowboys, Dalton Schultz led that for the receiving. He had 6 receptions, 87 yards, no touchdowns as well. Fumbles wise, each team fumbled once. So that kind of evens out there. What else we got? We got defensive wise, pretty good numbers in tackles. Leading tackles was Dallas. But yeah, right. As I said, first quarter, Houston was pounding on Dallas. It was 10-7 in the first. Going into the second, it began. Dallas began showing a little bit more life. It was 10-10 going into the half. Coming back out of the half, Texans fired back with a field goal. Texans were leading going into the fourth, but then in the fourth, the Cowboys just picked up 10 points, and the Cowboys barely escaped this fight, which was absolutely incredible. Incredible fighting by the Houston Texans. But yeah, the Cowboys take it out here. They increase their record to 10-3, which is the same record as the Bills and the Chiefs in the AFC, and the same record as the Minnesota Vikings now in the NFC. So they are tied up with the Minnesota Vikings in the NFC. They are 7-1 at home. Texans are 11-1. They're 1-6 in their away games. But yes, as I said, Texans almost, if they would have held on just a little bit longer, they might have actually beaten the Cowboys, which probably would have been an even bigger upset than the Lions and Vikings. But as I said, the Dallas Cowboys pick up the victory over the Houston Texans 27-23 at home in Week 14. All right. The next game of this week was the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Tennessee Titans in what was shockingly a big upset. Jacksonville going into this 4-8, so not too good of a record. They just lost to the Detroit Lions in week. They absolutely got destroyed by the Detroit Lions in week 13. Tennessee Titans have been on a pretty good streak. They were 7-5 coming into this. But Trevor Lawrence, he had a great game. He had 368 yards, 3 touchdowns, did not get sacked, otherwise in Week 13, and then which was a big improvement for Trevor Lawrence. And then Ryan Tannehill, he got 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception that he threw, and he got sacked 4 times. So Tennessee passing was not looking too good. Rushing-wise, Derrick Henry had the highest numbers, and he was with Tennessee Titans. He had 17 carries, 121 yards, 1 touchdown. Receiving-wise, Evan Ingram, he was leading that, and he was with Jacksonville. 11 receptions, 2 touchdowns, and it was outstanding. 162 yards for him. Fumbled-wise, Tennessee fumbled the ball twice. Defensively, it looks like the Jacksonville defense was overpowering the Tennessee defense. And then going into this first quarter, it was Tennessee up by 7 going against Jacksonville. It was 14-7. And then going into the second, Jacksonville scored 13 while Tennessee scored nothing. Coming out of halftime, Jacksonville again scores 13 with Tennessee getting nothing. And then going into the fourth, Jacksonville gets a field goal while Tennessee picks up 8. This was absolutely incredible. Jacksonville pulls off a massive upset, defeating the Tennessee Titans 36-3 in Tennessee. So that was an incredible game by Jacksonville, coming back from a loss in Week 13. So congrats to the Jacksonville Jaguars, defeating the Tennessee Titans 36-22 in Week 14. All right, next game on this card, we had the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the New York Giants. This was, I must say, I mean, really, what can you say? I mean, what do you expect? It's Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, they've been red hot this whole season. A 12-1 record after this game. Yes, as I said, the Eagles did defeat the Giants. It was 48-22, so a massive loss from the Giants by the Giants here. And Jalen Hurts absolutely looked incredible. He had 217 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. He got sacked 4 times. That's a little high. But Daniel Jones, on the other hand, he only got 169 yards, 1 touchdown, and he also got sacked 4 times. So Jalen Hurts looked a lot more. He looked a lot better in this game. But as I said, I mean, going over the stats, I mean, it looks like receiving wise, it looks like Philadelphia just kind of wiped the board all across with the New York Giants. But I mean, what is there to say? I mean, this one's pretty quick. Eagles are now 12-1. They've already clinched their playoff spot, but they're 6-0 in their away games. Giants lose at home again, but they're 7-5-1. Just a brutal matchup. But the Philadelphia Eagles do walk away with it, and they are now 12-1. And then the next game here, we had the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. This was actually a very, very close game. Obviously, Lamar Jackson out with an injury. I'm sorry I didn't clear any injuries up. I will cover news on Saturdays if you guys want to know that. So any sports news that I find, I will cover that on Saturdays. I think that's what I have planned so far. But Baltimore Ravens, they defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers 16-14. Big shock, honestly, with Lamar Jackson being out. Ravens are on 9-4. They are 5-2 in their away games. 5-8 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they are 2-4 at home. So the Ravens did beat Steelers at home 16-14. Tyler Huntley actually started this game instead of Lamar Jackson. He was next in line. 88 yards. Numbers a little low. He got sacked once. Kenny Pickett didn't play much. But yeah, it was pretty good. First quarter, Baltimore put up 10 and Pittsburgh put up 7. Going into the second, Baltimore put up 3, Pittsburgh nothing. Coming out of the half, no team scored, and then in the fourth, 3 for Baltimore and 7 for Pittsburgh. That did equal 16 for Baltimore, 14 for Pittsburgh. As I said, in Week 14, it was a very tight game. It was 16-14, Baltimore Ravens. So I think this was a very good fight in this game. I think it was really awesome. So Baltimore Ravens do pick up another win. They're now 9-4, as the Pittsburgh Steelers are now 5-8. The next game, guys. It was the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Denver Broncos. The Chiefs obviously losing to the Bengals last week in Week 13. Patrick Mahomes had 352 passing yards, so that was incredible for him. 3 touchdowns, but he threw 3 interceptions. Russell Wilson, on the other hand, had 247 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he got sacked 6 times. Kansas City defense was all over him. Rushing-wise, Kansas City got the better of it. Receiving-wise, once again, Kansas City got the better end of it. But yeah, all across the board, it looks like Kansas City did have the better game. They did have the Broncos beat. The score was 34-28. Let's have the rundown here. In the first quarter, it was 6-0 Kansas City. Going into the second, it was 21-14 Denver. And then in the second, coming out of halftime, both teams ended up getting a touchdown extra point, and then in the fourth, Denver ended up getting a touchdown, but it was not enough. Again, as I said, the Chiefs did prevail, 34-28 being the total. Chiefs now 10-3, so that's, I think, 4 teams that are now 10-3. You have the Buffalo Bills, you have the Kansas City Chiefs, you have the Minnesota Vikings, and now you have the Dallas Cowboys. So 4 teams really tight in their rankings right now. But yeah, it's still very tight on who's going to take the Super Bowl this year, and playoffs coming up. It's going to be very fun playoffs to watch. But Denver drops down to 3-10. They are now eliminated from the playoffs. They are not going to play. They're going to keep playing their season games, but they're eliminated from the playoffs after the season's done. Better luck to them next year. But they dropped 3-10, and they are third in the draft. All right, next game in Week 14, we had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the San Francisco 49ers, who are actually playing at the time of recording. We're actually in the first right now with San Francisco leading the Seattle Seahawks 7-0. As I said, when I'm a Lions fan, I have to be a Lions fan. I really want San Francisco to win. I think they will get it done. But yeah, they're in the first, about to go into the second. 7-0 San Francisco. We will cover that next week on What Happened Wednesday. But this obviously going to come out on a Friday or Thursday night. Most of you are going to see it on Friday. But where was I here? Sorry, I got distracted. As I said, Niners, Buccaneers. I'm not going to spend much time in this game. I'm just going to say, hates to be Tom Brady. Buccaneers got absolutely squashed. It was 35-7. The 49ers absolutely just destroy the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady with 253 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He did not get sacked, but Brock Purdy, he had 185 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he did not get sacked. So Brock Purdy actually looked a lot better than Tom Brady here. We also had, it looks like, Christian McCaffrey did have the most rushing yards. And then Chris Godwin. Well, no, Chris Godwin did not have the most receiving yards. It was actually Brandon Ayuk. He did look really nice. 2 receptions, 57 yards, 1 touchdown. But yeah, as I said, going into the first, it was 0-7. San Francisco was leading Tampa Bay. And then in the second, San Francisco put on another 21. In the third, coming out of the half, both teams scored. And then in the fourth, nothing. So 35-7, the Niners absolutely manhandle the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady, which is the greatest quarterback of all time. And I just hate to see him like this. But yeah, Buccaneers dropped 6-7. Niners actually go 9-4 now. But it's looking pretty good for the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs. They are riding high right now. And I don't know, I hope they do pretty good. Carolina Panthers taking on the Seattle Seahawks, who are playing the 49ers right now, as I said. Seahawks. If they don't win this game, they could drop in the playoff ranks, and that would bring the Lions even closer to the playoffs. But Sam Darnold did pretty good with the Carolina Panthers. 120 yards passing. 1 touchdown. He got sacked twice, while Geno Smith, he got 264 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions there, and 3 sacks. Rushing-wise, Chuba Hubbard for the Carolina Panthers got 14 carries, 74 yards. 1 touchdown. And Travis Homer, he got 9 carries, 26 yards, no touchdowns. Receiving wise, it looks like Marquise Godwin for Seattle. It did lead in that game. Fumbles wise, Carolina fumbled once. But coming into this game, first quarter got underway. Carolina put 10 on the board. Seattle with nothing. Going into the second, Seattle fired back with 14, but Carolina put another 10 on. And then coming out of the half, Seattle did get 3. And then the fourth, Carolina got 10, and Seattle got 7. So in the end, it was 30-24. The Carolina Panthers walked away with a big upset against Seattle Seahawks. It was a big win. Pretty close game. But the Panthers beating the Seahawks at home 30-24 in what was a pretty decent game. All right, the next game in Week 14. We are almost done. Sorry, my computer is buffering for a minute. All right, Dolphins, Chargers. Pretty good game. Chargers actually walked away with this one, guys. Can you believe it? Miami Dolphins actually lost this game. Let's go over the stats here. Tua actually got 145 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions, but he got sacked twice. While Justin Herbert, he got 367 yards passing, 1 touchdown, and got sacked 4 times. So Justin Herbert, obviously got the bigger numbers there and was more productive. Tyreek Hill, he had a great moment in this game where there was a fumble and no one could find it, and Tyreek was like, "Oh, there it is," and he ran it all the way back for a Miami touchdown, which looked absolutely incredible. He did a fantastic job. Both defenses were pretty decent in this game. But going into this in the first, nobody scored. In the second, it was Miami that put 7 on the board, but the Chargers put 17 on the board in the second. Coming out of halftime in the third, Miami answered back with another 7, but the Chargers put 3 on. And then in the fourth, both teams put 3 on the board. But the Chargers walk away 23-17. One of the very few teams winning at home this week. Chargers now move up to 7-6, while the Dolphins now are 8-5. So pretty shocking to see the Dolphins actually lose this game because they were on a pretty good streak. But the Dolphins do fall to the Los Angeles Chargers 23-17, and hopefully they can pick it back up in Week 15. All right, and the final game of Week 14. It was just this past Monday. It was the New England Patriots against the Arizona Cardinals. And as I said on the beginning video, I said, I have the Patriots in this game because Kyler Murray's out. As I said, Kyler Murray's out. I do have news on him that I will cover on Saturday, so be ready for that. Or Saturday or Sunday, we'll see. It might get uploaded. It might be recorded Saturday, uploaded Sunday, because I want to record the predictions for Week 15 tomorrow and then put it up Saturday. But yeah, I think, as I said, I thought the Patriots would win, and they did. They won 27-13. Kyler Murray, obviously hurt the Cardinals when he got taken out. But let's look here. Mac Jones for the New England Patriots had 235 passing yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception, and got sacked once. And then Colt McCoy came in for Kyler Murray. He had 246 yards, 1 interceptions, no touchdowns, and got sacked 6 times. Kyler Murray, before he got injured, he had 9 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and did not get sacked. So he did not stay in there for long. But James Conner led the rushing game for the Arizona Cardinals. And then we had DeAndre Hopkins lead the receiving game for the Cardinals. And then fumbles-wise, Arizona fumbled it a couple times. And then, yeah. Arizona fumbled it once. But yeah, I mean, it really didn't do much for them. Arizona, they did not have a good game. Patriots did walk away with it, 27-13, as I said. Coming into the first, no team scored. In the second, New England put 10 on as the Cardinals put on 13. In the third, we had New England put on 10, Arizona nothing. And then the fourth, New England 7, Arizona nothing. As I said, equals to 27-13. New England's move up to 7-6, while the Arizona Cardinals drop to 4-9. But that was pretty much Week 14, everyone. I think a pretty good week of football. As I said, I'm pretty excited for what's to come in Week 15. I will cover what happened with the San Francisco and Seattle game tomorrow on the preview for Week 15. I'm going to see if I can invite Sam on. If he's not on here, he's not on here. But I'm going to invite him. It'd be cool to discuss what we think with it. So, anyways, guys, that was Week 14. As I said, be ready for news for the NFL and MLB and a couple other big news from sports on Saturday. And then, as I said, on Monday, we were going to start Mad Mobile Monday. I already have it recorded. I'm going to voice over it for you guys. And that's going to be a full game on Mad Mobile, the 3-minute quarter length. It's going to be the Detroit Lions playing the Minnesota Vikings. And it was a very fun game to play. I'm excited for you guys to see it. And yeah, I think it was pretty fun. That's going to be a regular thing. But yeah, this was Week 14, guys, of the NFL. And thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, turn on those notifications. And you were watching the Super Sports Talk Show. Thanks a lot. See you guys later.